Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the root chakra. I'm going to turn this sideways. So my reflections with the root chakra is quite extensive today, and I'll get to the cards in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. The benefit of trust versus the benefit of doubt. It's not enough to ignore yourself for the sake of benefiting someone else. Here in this space, in the sacral chakra, there are enough examples. Emotional intelligence from mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, complete matriarchal line, and your paternal line's feminine figures, because you do have two X chromosomes. You have the feminine chromosome from your father that relates to all the females in the bloodline. They're there to help you discern the circumstances you grapple with. You have the emotional intelligence embedded in your belly. Use it. While emotionally, you may have a proverbial chastity belt on your sacral chakra, right below the navel and right above your sex organs, you also need air. And this is regardless of gender, male, female. This is regardless if you're sexually active or not. There is an energetic block around this sacral chakra. Okay, like a proverbial chastity belt. You're not necessarily letting things in. You're not necessarily letting things out. You're going to need to release in order to receive the type of emotionality and feelings and sensation that you desire, that are necessary for you. To let out what you've been keeping cooped up and to allow in what will help nourish you. It may show up, if it's blocked, as an endocrine disorder, which could be your pancreas, your thyroid, any of your reproductive system, your heart, your brain. These are very, very crucial. Your thymus gland, your just pituitary glands, your pineal gland, your sacral chakra houses the necessary tools to keep the endocrine system running. And it may show up, like I said, as an endocrine disorder, PCOS, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, lupus, endometriosis, cysts, uterine fibroids, amenorrhea, where you have irregular periods, don't bleed at all, or extremely heavy bleeding. It could be irregular bowels, added weight around the lower midsection, or a fupa, to use a slang term. Lack of arousal, erectile dysfunction, UTIs, bacterial vaginosis, prostate disorders, colon issues, okay? Reoccurring yeast infections, maybe an inability to orgasm without extreme stimulation, i.e. rough sex, BDSM, toys, vibrators, or some type of extremist behavior in order to get to the point of arousal. It could even relate to porn addictions, or not even an addiction, but the necessity to see something that jarring in order to get a rise out of you or an orgasm out of you. This is cause for a clearing. Best done alone in your privacy, for your privacy, where you can feel the support of your root chakra protecting you as you do so. So in an exercise, lay down when you're by yourself, place your hands in a downward V, downward triangle, over your pelvis. Deep breathing for 10 minutes while relaxing your pelvic and stomach muscles. Just close your eyes and focus on that area and how it feels under your touch and care. This is to build your trust of touch and the benefit of trust for how you should be touched, with consideration, compassion, focused attention, and peace, respectfully and lovingly. Make a note to yourself that if it doesn't feel as safe as this, then it isn't for you. That's a feeling you can trust and will benefit from doing so. So now, it's been a long time coming. That's what I got with these messages here. You have all elements showing up. You have earth, you have wands, you have fire, you have air, and you have cups. Okay? You feel a certain way because you think a certain way, and energetically, it's been done a certain way. Okay? But now it's time to act and actually put in work to do something different, right? This is bolted down to the ground. And it's next to the way that it has been done, always has been done, continues to be done. The king energy lets me know that it's a very rigid way of doing things. It's a way that has been embedded within you to do it this way. So change comes slowly, but it comes. A long time coming. But energetically, you have decided that it is time to see what you can do in order to free up this energy that's in this sacral chakra. Because this is where your creativity lies, your ability to birth, your ability to make, create. This could be art, it could be music, it could be writing, it could be anything that requires you to pull everything from the pit of your stomach in order to produce something that is unique to you. The combination of emotions and intelligence and intuition that you have is in that gut. If it is full of garbage, if it is full of trauma, if it is full of memories that don't even belong to you, they're going to keep it there. Chastity belt. To protect what is sacred, right? But what's also within there is something that is not necessarily yours. It's whatever your mother was feeling, going through, experiencing when she was pregnant with you, male or female, doesn't matter. And what her mother felt while she was in her mother's womb. You have all of that information. So you have the ability to have the emotional intelligence, but you are now being tasked with deciding and discerning what is yours and what is not. What occurred within you with this lifetime, following the emotional blueprint of the way it was done before you, the way you were brought up, the way you were taught, the way you noticed your parents interacting, the way you noticed your aunts and uncles, neighbors. Excuse me. You have to understand that what was written in someone else's way of handling emotions was not the most healthy for you. And now you're stuck with the task of choosing differently and allowing change to actually come into you. The Knight of Pentacles is always described as being slow and taking forever. The Knight of Pentacles is going to bring safety. The Knight of Pentacles is going to bring assuredness, concrete manifestation. It's going to show and it's going to prove. This is a feeling of trust. This is the ability to trust. This will be suspicious. This will use old emotions and old feelings to judge everything new. And it's outdated. It's outdated. It's bolted to the ground because that's not the direction it's supposed to go in. It's headed in this direction, towards change, towards stability, just even in the precognitive messages. You have to allow your root chakra to support you so that you feel safe on your 2 feet. This is the point that I'm bringing to the table as celestial securities. You have to know thyself. You have to trust thyself. You have to guard this star that you are above all else. Okay? So you have to, with this exercise, begin to unravel this king energy. Unravel it. Let it be what it was, which wasn't yours. You gave benefit of doubt because you want to just see where it goes or see how it ends up. You don't trust yourself to make that move. You don't trust yourself to make that decision. And up until this point, it has allowed people, places, jobs, situations, family situations, structures, even friend groups, or your ability to trust has been diminished because you have second guessed, given benefit of doubt instead of benefit of trust. And it shows. So now when you're supposed to be in an active mode of allowing yourself into yourself and allowing yourself to trust what you're feeling that actually belongs to you and not what you were taught to feel and not what you were taught to think, because your gut is your second brain. You feel it in your gut. Why? Because that is your first response center. That is your first point of knowing, first point of feeling the environment and feeling a situation. You will feel it in the pit of your stomach. It will give you butterflies. It will put it in knots. You may have loose bowels if something is jarring enough, or you may have an anxiousness to use the bathroom because your gut is the first responder. It is your EMT. So instead of putting it in duress because we're giving people the benefit of doubt, give yourself benefit of trust. That's how you navigate. And this is why the Knight of Pentacles energy is so valuable, because this is the expert navigator. Not the Knight of Cups, not the Knight of Wands, and definitely not the Knight of Swords. This Knight has a plan, knows where it's going, knows how to get there, every back street. This is an expert navigator. And it may not happen quickly, okay? People want such fast results to the point where if they have to put in too much work for it, then it may not be worth it. I should have did it the fast way. And then you miss the steps that it takes to actually do it. It's like using Google. Okay, you can use Google. And you get some misinformation because you've never thought, I could go to the library. I could use an encyclopedia. I could use another source, do it another way. It may seem slow. It may seem outdated, but this is not 100% sure. It's not. This is the way that other people are doing it. You're giving it the benefit of doubt because a lot of people are doing it this way, or a lot of people have done it this way, then assuredly it must work. And instead of trusting my own inner guide, which is an expert navigator, I'm going to do it the way that it's being done, the way that it was done. And when it's time, when this is not available, because it doesn't have the intelligence for your own personal journey, you need to be able to do it the old-fashioned way, so to speak, the way that takes a little more effort on your part, a little more gusto, a little more inventiveness, creativity. It's going to bring your sources and resources out of you so that you can build that foundation solidly. If your root chakra is set, then you feel safe and you feel secure. No matter who's around, no matter where you are. So even if you considered yourself to be an introvert, you could go out in public, but your root chakra is so stable and you trust your actions and decisions that no one around you would be allowed to make you feel anxious and overwhelmed. You are safe wherever you go, and you can follow assuredly your safety. This archetype will get you there, but you have to give yourself the benefit of trust. Even if that takes you to stop asking other people for the answers, because they feel differently and they think differently. Therefore, they will act differently. They will choose this every time. But this is your way. They won't advise this. I mean, they won't advise this. They'll advise this. But you've already experienced this emotionally, intuitively, genetically. You have already been on this path and it has gotten you nowhere. And this is why you have to choose differently. You have to choose your own. So even you watching this reading right now, I'm encouraging you to stop listening to others. You have to. If the only way, and I use this to be a pictorial key. I did the cognitive messages. My clear cognizance, it just picked it up. But it let me know that it's been a long time coming. You've been giving someone else, other situations, everything outside of you, the benefit of doubt. Why is doubt a benefit? Why isn't trust the benefit? Why aren't you benefiting from your trust? You don't trust your decisions. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust your gut. That's why. And therefore, people are making money off of you, outside of you, because you don't trust. You have no trust. You have no faith. You have absolutely given your power away to past archetypes that are within your line, outdated. I told you, the matriarchs are where you get the intelligence from. These are paternal, masculine archetypes sitting up here that have been running the show within your energy, within your aura, within your auric field, within your energy body, within your mind, within your heart, within your gut, within your sacral chakra. Do you understand now why it is in disarray? The feminine aspect of you is linked to that sacral chakra, regardless of your gender. And my men don't typically respond. They don't comment. They'll watch and just go about their business. And that's fine too. But you have to understand that you have masculine and feminine energy within you. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with gender. It does have to do with gender, the universal law of gender. Nothing is created with only one sex. Some things are asexual. Some things, but those are rarities, sometimes human. But you have to understand that disfigurements, disabilities, these happenstances are few and far between. The more they tamper with genetics, the more occurrences you will see. That is just splicing and manipulation of the nature of the body. So we're not getting into that. I'm not talking about preference and what people want to choose that they are, what they're born as. You can be intersex, you could be asexual and not have any organs. Those are rarities. Those are abnormal circumstances. I'm speaking on a person who has mental acuity, agility, action to work, action to earn, feed themselves, clothe themselves. Those are masculine things. And everything internal that you're feeling, grief, emotions, dreaming, creativeness, those abstract things that you cannot quantify, those are feminine energies. Point blank, period. So it's come a time that you need to decipher how you've been using this masculine energy to rule your creativity, your ability to feel, your ability to accept your own judgment, your own truth. You have to trust yourself. Give yourself the benefit of trust and it will take you far. It's been a long time coming. You've been waiting on yourself to get on board. They're not going anywhere. They're not traveling. They're not in transit. They're not moving. They're immobile. These archetypes will never change. They live their lives. If these are related to ancestors or past energies or anything like that, they are so rigid. They are sitting on stone. They are immobile. But you're on the move. Set in stone, on the move. You choose. So this is all I have for the sacral chakra today. Why don't you use this Page of Swords energy to question why, question where, question who? Because this is you. The male figures in your life. It could be siblings. It could be parents, grandparents, significant others from the past. You're going to see a pattern of things that never moved forward, never shaped, never formed into anything. You couldn't mold it. You couldn't create with it. It just was too stifling. It was the way it was, and it did not change. And therefore, it left little room for you to advance, to grow, and to really blossom. This is the way to go. Expert navigator. This person is on a plane that is ripe for vegetation. That's the way to go. Away from where you have been. So I hope that this helped. Leave a comment below. I will talk to you guys tomorrow and we'll get into the solar plexus. Today's numerology for May 16th, 2021 comes to a 17, which is the star energy linked to Aquarius. And when we reduce it, 1 plus 7 is 8. That's linked with the strength card, which is the archetype of Leo. Leo and Aquarius are opposites. So from instinctual, animalistic nature all the way to the cosmos, from the minute aspects of this world to the vast infinity of the celestial bodies and everything around the universe, there is no difference. If you follow universal law, which we will talk about, we will get into on this channel, and we will dive into that little small thing, those little small details, those little nuances, habits that you may have, affluence. They affect your affluence or your lack thereof. The microcosm of an instinct that we would deem as animalistic extends, it ripples, and it affects everything vast about you. Something that you do that is outdated, that is not of you, that is from your patriarchal line versus your matriarchal line, can stifle your growth, it limits your money, limit your growth, limit your love, because these decisions aren't made out of giving. They're made out of they're giving rigidity. They're not giving or receiving anything substantial. Their output is minimal. They're not very giving natures. It could be intuitive. It could be very logical. But I still feel manipulation with that. Those two energies, that's ice. Water and cold air is ice. Take something more solid. This is like clay. You can form it into something. It could be malleable. It's flexible. It's flowing. Yesterday's message with the root chakra was firm yet flexible. Because after you form something the way that you want it, you can put it in the kiln and it can be solid. You could sell it. It has value. It has structure. It has beauty, creativity. It exudes. It influences emotion. It influences conversation and thought. This is the energy that you can actually use and create into something so that you can ascend into the Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and have something built up. These are already set in stone. These are already definitive energies that are within you, around you, taught to you, inbred into you. You're in this position to make use of what you have and make it your own. And I encourage you to do so. So again, that's all for today. I hope you liked the message. I will see you later.